Hey there. Welcome back, tribe. Welcome back to the Openly Occultic Book Club. We're reading the definitive book of human design, written by Linda Bunnell and authorized by the founder of the human design system, Ra Uru Hu. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We're in section 6 of this book, and section 6 is on circuits, channels, and gates. It's called the circuit board of the life force, and we're getting back to, well, we've been on this section for a few episodes. Today we're going to start the collective circuit group. So thank you for joining me, and I hope that you hang around. Okay, so here we are. We're on the collective circuit group. Last time we were covering the individual circuit group. Now we're on the collective circuit group. Uh, and the keynote here is sharing, right? We're talking about understanding and sensing circuits, the understanding and sensing circuits. Keynote being sharing. This circuit group, this collective circuit group, is made up of two separate circuits, the understanding circuit and the sensing circuit. Today we'll cover the understanding circuit. On the next episode, we'll dive into what's being said on the sensing circuit. All right. The collective circuit group is composed of two major circuits, the understanding or logic circuit and the sensing or abstract circuit. Sharing is a part of every channel and gate in the circuit. For the collective, sharing is akin to a drive or social obligation or need to tell you what they think, what they've experienced, or what they've judged to be of value or not. The collective is quick to share opinions, dilemmas, solutions, criticism, expectations, fantasies, inventions, medical breakthroughs, and more. But the sharing is not personal. The collective's inherently social orientation is objective, impersonal, and not necessarily reciprocal, and it is best to avoid taking the collective's sharing personally, no matter how personal it feels. When indiscriminate sharing is expressed unbidden, driven by the not awake and unaware not self mind, it can be a real nuisance. For example, those in crises will catch themselves unwittingly sharing their situation with the clerk, the postman, or the person next to them at the bus stop. Learning to wait to be asked to tell their story or to give their opinion is part of becoming sensitive to the what's going on, to the receptivity of others, and the key to sharing that is satisfying, effective, and transformative. The mutuality and social nature of humanity, along with its need for harmony or uniformity, is embedded in the collective. This circuit group drives consciousness forward by sharing what has been learned through experimentation and experience. With its focus on society, the collective establishes what is good for the majority as opposed to what is good for any one specific individual. The idea that what is good for one is good for all, so stay with the pattern that works, comes from this circuit group. It might be terrible for you personally, but since it's for the greater good, you put up with it. Citizens of a country, for instance, all share the same rules, the same monetary currency, and the same public institutions. Without the collective's collegiality, majority rule, and obligation to share, today's larger societies could not stand. They would still be a cluster of fiefdoms competing for the same resources. With the collective at the helm in recent history, the educated and privileged classes have entered the era of the global village. We have nearly reached the ultimate potential and goal of the collective circuit group. The collective is suspicious of the non-conforming, impetuous individual, and it has never trusted the primitive demand for loyalty and the bargaining of the tribe. Notice how the collective circuit group, viewed in the illustration, forms a kind of outer shell and inner core, which appears to both bind and buttress the body graph. There's an unusual balance and beauty in the opposition that exists within this symmetry. It's like a dance between yesterday, the sensing, abstract, and tomorrow, understanding and logic, between cycles and patterns, between experiencing and proving. Life is built on logic, but lived out through the abstract cycles of life. The sensing or abstract circuit tries to codify experience or make sense of the past, and the understanding circuit or logic tries to anticipate the future. The collective is not as focused on the now moment, which is the individual's contribution. Out of this circuit group's internal opposition, its seesawing back and forth between past and future, comes its reputation for conservatism or maintaining the status quo. If it isn't broke, don't fix it or change it. A level of stability also emerges from this circuit group that says, with some pride, I understand. I have the facts. It's like this. Or, I've experienced it. I've been there, done that. All you have to do is listen to me. Logic is experimental. It's about the way things are supposed to work. The abstract sensing circuit is experiential and deals with desire and the unexpected. Okay? So, basically, that we're dealing with the difference between experimental and, you know, dealing with the desire and the unexpected, right? And in the midst of that, change and mutation comes about. And this circuit is dealing with change and understanding coming about for the collective, right? Let's see, the understanding and logic circuit. That's what we're dealing with today. The keynote again is sharing. We're going to deal with these channels that we see on the body graph, right? I'm sorry. Yeah, these channels and these centers as well. The solar plexus and the heart or wheel center, they have nothing to do with this circuit. This circuit is only dealing with the head, the ajna, the throat, the G center, the sacral center, the solar plexus, the sacral center, the spleen center, and the root center. These channels are 63-4, which deals with logic, mental ease mixed with doubt. Channel 52-9, concentration or determination. Channel 1762, dealing with acceptance and organizational being. Channel 515, rhythm, being in the flow. Channel 5818, judgment or instability. Channel 731, the alpha, for good or bad, a design of leadership. And channel 4816, dealing with the wavelength or talent. The understanding circuit's theme is logic, a cool-headed but seductive intelligence rooted in the recognition of patterns through concentration on the details. It analyzes processes on formulas and challenges what isn't working. This logic allows one to predict with a certain reliability what can be expected in the future from this or that course of action. Understanding takes place over time. It requires financial support, disciplined repetition, and the development of techniques or skills in order to refine and concretize a pattern or to master and perfect an aptitude, a plan, or a formula. Together with resources often obtained from outside the circuit, logic requires a practice to reach its potential and make its contribution, part of which is to lead humanity safely into the future. As long as logic is free from conditioning, it can be used to share the understanding circuit's formalized hypotheses, its perspectives, and projected doubts about the future in deeply influential ways. Unlike its mirror, the abstract and experiential sensing circuit, the understanding circuit's logic has no connection to the warmth and passion of the solar plexus. The understanding circuit is often referred to as the cool side of the chart, although logic's stability brings a deep satisfaction not available to the experiential side. There is collective joy when we can see that 1 plus 1 always equals 2, and that the pattern is reliable. When logic works, it's as pleasurable as putting that last piece of a puzzle into place, which is part of the seduction logic holds for the collective. The channels and gates of the logic circuit are discussed on the following pages. Okay, the first one is the channel of concentration, gate 52 and 9, a design of determination, part of the understanding circuit, and it's a generated type channel. The channel of concentration links the root center to the sacral center through the gate of stillness, gate 52, and the gate of focus, gate 9. The ninth gate is determined to maintain its focus on details and facts, while the 52nd gate provides a passive fuel that powers this focus by keeping one still and withdrawn from other distractions. Channel 52-9 creates a potential that can be fulfilled through focused attention when one is still enough to assess all of the pertinent aspects. It's a good thing to have. Background. In order to improve something and be of service to the world, logic must be able to sustain its focus and handle all the details within a pattern. The channel of concentration is a format energy, and we have a little asterisk next to that carries the qualities of all the other channels in the understanding circuit. When guided by sacral response, it influences one's entire design with its energy to concentrate on and challenge, correct, or perfect any pattern, form, or activity that one is profoundly committed to. Logic is a step-by-step, one foot in front of the other process, and one must be deeply identified with the formula in order to spend the time required to either prove or disprove it. The logical process is immensely important in sustaining the collective's position of influence within the world. Yes, indeed, right? This makes complete sense to me. Hit the thumbs up, like this video if this makes sense to you when we're dealing with collective energies and things needed to improve on or even prove or disprove things that as a collective we hold on to. Hit the like button if you believe that. Personal. You're continually involved in assessing the details of whatever it is that you've dedicated yourself to. You experience a quiet pressure to be still, not as stress, but more as a tension that keeps you in place like a yoga pose. You still your physical body and your outer senses in order to use your energy in a precise, focused way and hate dissipating this potent energy by having to deal with many things at once. You're like the Buddha sitting under a lotus tree, gathering your energy and waiting for your sacral to respond. Your responses reveal what your focus will be, what pattern you'll be devoted to perfecting, and when to share it. As you follow your responses, your true vocation and life focus also emerge. You may be profoundly dedicated to one activity for most of your life, or have multiple distinctly different foci over the course of a lifetime. With this format channel defined in your design, you may find yourself restless and depressed if there is nothing worthwhile to concentrate on, nothing that your authority says is correct to direct this energy towards. Interpersonal. Oracally, The format frequency of channel 52.9 can hold or concentrate energy in one place, allowing a group to focus and facilitate a deeper examination of the project or process under consideration. If you don't have this channel in your design, it may be to your advantage in certain circumstances to sit next to someone who does, in order to heighten your own ability to sit still and concentrate. Okay, okay, there's things that we can do to kind of get access to this stuff, right? Because we all have an aura. So if you're near someone with that energy structure within them, you can chill next to them, soak up that aura, that energy that's going on. It's not really necessarily being an energy vampire per se. We're working together. It's a symbiotic relationship in so many ways. It's going to happen regardless, you know. So we have a quote here. It says, or here's the asterisk that we brought up earlier when it was discussing how the channel of concentration is a format energy. This channel that we're discussing is a format energy. It says format energies exert a powerful influence on all other channels in the circuit and the design as a whole. Format channels run between the root and sacral centers, such as channel 5342, collective and abstract, or channel 63, individual, right, part of the individual circuit, and channel 52.9, part of the collective circuit, but on the logical side. There is no format channel for the tribal circuit. Okay, okay, right, because these are format energies that run between the root and the sacral centers. So you'll have the energy, the individual channel or individual circuit, and you'll have two tribal or two collective circuits, one for both sides, logical and abstract. Okay. Also part of this channel of concentration, we're dealing with gates 52 and 9. We're going to start out with gate 52. Remember, in the I Ching, because human design is a synthesis of astrology, the I Ching, the Kabbalah, quantum physics, and the chakra Brahman system, the chakras. So when you hear gates, gates are akin to the hexagram in I Ching. So gate 52 would be hexagram 52 in the I Ching or I Ching. I don't know. How do you guys say it? I Ching, I Ching. Anyway, gate 52 is called keeping still or mountain, the gate of stillness. It's temporary and self-imposed in action for the benefit of assessment. Okay? Gotta meditate, be still to focus and assess the situation, right? Okay, it's coming from the root center. It's part of the civilization quarter. The theme is purpose fulfilled through form. It's part of the right angle cross of service incarnation cross, the JC of stillness incarnation cross, and the left angle cross of demands, which is also an incarnation cross. Okay, we'll get to these incarnation crosses later on in the book as we move along. There's a lot of stuff to cover in the human design. You know, sometimes I waver back and forth between, is it too much information? I'm glad to know, but can we really? It's a lot of information. It really is. I see a purpose for all the information. It would just take a long time to really know this system, because it really is a lot of details, including, like we said, the astrology, and that alone is a lot of information, right? Right, tribe? The astrology by itself, you're dealing with all these planets, including Chiron, right? The wounded healer, and I love that one. You got Lilith, you got your Neptunes and your Uranus, your Plutos, you got your Saturn, your Mars, your Venus, your Mercury, your Sun and Moon. You know what we're dealing with. And that's a lot to learn because you have all these different houses, right? Transits occur every day, all through the year. The energy is constantly, changing, or all things are getting a chance to release or manifest the energies that are moving constantly every second of the day. It's just a lot of information in general, just with the planets themselves, just with astrology itself. So when you're dealing with human design, it's not just astrology. We're dealing with the nine centers, all these different gates. Now we're dealing with the I Ching, right? When we're talking about the gates, it's a lot of information, let alone the variables, all this other information. There's so much information. So don't feel overwhelmed, right? We just take it a step at a time, a day at a time, and conduct your experiment based off of what you know. Over time, we will be masters of this information, family. We'll be able to talk to other people about this easily, of course, when we're invited, or we're when the time is right, right? We'll use our energy to pull up our memory and our comprehension, and we'll be able to communicate with others about this interesting system, because that it is. And I say this is all ancient Cometian knowledge, right? Ancient Moorish science. So I keep that in mind as well. That this is coming from a real place, and I enjoy learning about it. It is a lot of information, so don't feel overwhelmed. Just take your time. Learn as much as you can for the day or for the moment, and take your time, process that energy, take a walk through the mall. If you have multiple types of split definitions and things like that, walk through the mall, let that energy, that information process through you, and you'll have your aha moment. You'll get it, and then you come back and fill up on more information. And over time, we will be masters. Right now, we're dealing with gate 52. It says gate 52, which is in the root center, once again, is energy under pressure that is focused on assessment, the raw power to concentrate. There is a passive tension in this connection from the root center that is looking towards gate 9 for an outlet. Once the 52nd gate finds something it deeply identifies with, something worthwhile to channel this energy towards, the tension is balanced between the root center's pressure to keep you moving forward and gate 52's power to help you sit still and concentrate. Before this balance is reached, however, you can find yourself vacillating between restlessness and depression, bouncing from one thing to the next, unable to find the self discipline to withdraw once again into your stillness and concentrate. There's no physical outlet within Gate 52 that can direct or relieve this passive tension within you except to focus it. Without Gate 9 and the sacral response, it's difficult to know what activity or details to concentrate it on. And so with this gate, we have the various lines. Once again, just to remind everyone, when you're looking at your human design chart, hold on, let me pull mine up. When you're looking at your human design chart, you see you have your design side and your personality side. Both sides have your different astrological symbols for each one. Um, if you don't remember the reason why there's two on here versus the standard astrological natal chart that only has, you know, just your planets, you know, this has a design side and a personality side. The design side is calculated from the birth date that you give for when you came through the portal, right, into this plane. So your birth date, location, time of birth, that's how your personality side is determined. And then the calculation, I think, basically goes back 88 days or something like that. And that's where they calculate the design side uh, information. So the information is showing you what gate and line you have for each of these planets. For instance, on my personality side, my sun sign is in gate 15, but it's on line 1. See, everything after the dot, the decimal, the period is the line that energy is in. My sun sign on my design side is in gate 25, but it's on line 3. See? So, and we know that we have these gates are shown on our body graph chart. That's why here I have gate 15 defined. I have gate 15, yes indeed, but more detail is given on the charts on the personality and design charts, right? It's not just gate 15, it's gate 15 line 1 actually. And so what we're reading, we haven't really gotten into more of a deep explanation about these different lines, but so far what we're reading is that these different lines, though we know that this is gate 52 and this is own energy, we understand that it's divided into 6 type of sub energies to go along with that major energy. So line 6 for gate 52 would be peacefulness. Line 5 for gate 52 is explanation. Line 4, self-discipline. Line 3, controls. Line 2, concern. And line 1, think before you speak. Okay? We'll get more of an explanation as we read through the book. We're almost halfway through with this book. So just hang in there and we'll learn what we can when we can. Gate 9, the taming power of the small, the gate of focus. Potential can be fulfilled through detailed attention to all pertinent aspects. This is part of the sacral center, part of the quarter of mutation. The theme is purpose fulfilled through transformation. It's part of the RAC of planning, the JC of focus, and the LAC, or left angle cross, of identification. These are part of the incarnation crosses. We'll get to that information later as well. Gate 9 acts like a funnel, focusing Gate 52's enormous power to concentrate on what is meaningful and worthwhile for you. The frequency carried in Gate 9 is a diligence for detail or an ability to focus your energy. So much about our logical success as a species depends on conserving precious energy by paying attention to the details. You have the determination to focus the passive but powerful energy pouring out of the root center in one place. With Gate 9's sacral capacity to persevere, you can focus your attention for long periods of time on all the detailed aspects of a project or issue and properly test or assess the formulas. All of that can be shared with the collective or applied to your own life. Without Gate 52, however, you may not be able to sit still long enough to concentrate. Your own lack of determination can become a source of frustration for you. When clear and focused, your aura may facilitate the efficient use of both physical and mental energy in those near you. Right? Line 6, gratitude. Line 5, faith. Line 4, dedication. Line 3, the straw that breaks the camel's back. Line 2, misery loves company. And line 1, sensibility. Now we have the channel of rhythm. This consists of Gate 5 and Gate 15. It's a design of being in the flow, part of the understanding circuit, and it's a generated type energy, right? It's going again from the sacral, which is a generator, up to the G center. Let's see, the channel of rhythm links the sacral center to the G center through the gate of fixed patterns, Gate 5, and the gate of extremes, Gate 15. Gate 5 holds to its fixed habits and rituals, while Gate 15, with its love for humanity's extremes, levels the playing field by incorporating society's diversity into the flow. Here we find the rhythm of life, deeply magical and universal, binding all life forms together from the single cell to complex human beings. Here's the background. The channel of rhythm is the cornerstone of all bio-life processes, intimately connecting us through each response of the sacral center to the flow of the natural world. It is subject to neither the arrogance of mind nor the highs and lows of the emotional wave. The magnetic monopole, with its singular attraction that holds everything together in the illusion of separateness, is located in the G center. The collective magnetism of the 15th gate is a projection by the monopole of the universal, not personal, love of humanity and humanity's potential. In this way, it pulls us forward. Its frequency magnetically draws everyone into its rhythm as a way of impersonally sharing the flow of life. This rhythm of life is naturally and fundamentally logic based on repeatable yet ever evolving patterns and is designed to direct every living thing towards the future. Right? Keep it in mind, it's not just humans that have all this in their bodies. This is also in insects, in plants, other mammals, trees, right? Dogs, cats. It'll be cool. Let me know if you've gotten your has anybody pulled up the human design chart of their pet? What about your cat, your dog? Because they got one too. All things have an aura. All things with life. My crystal lovers out there know that, right? We deal with crystals. We know that there's an aura reverberating from this crystal, right? This little mineral. Oh, shout out to my gym crew. Okay, personal when it comes to this channel of rhythm. You're constantly moved along by the river of life, vitally and intimately connected to its continuous flow. You appear to others to have your own sense of timing that's determined entirely by your own inner rhythm. If these patterns or routines are natural and correct for you, then you should not allow anything to interfere with them. You cannot connect with the patterns of nature's rhythm if you flow apart from your inner response because your sacral guides and fine-tunes your timing. When aligned with your flow, everything you do feels effortless and natural and subtly benefits those around you by bringing them into their own rhythm and timing. If you live the distortions and incorrect timing of the not self, however, you may find yourself disrupting everyone's flow, beginning with your own. Life around you can then feel confusing and chaotic. Interpersonal. The auric magnetism of this channel is designed to draw people into a continuous but flexible flow that keeps humanity moving towards a secure and viable future. The collective's social flow provides us with unlimited opportunities for bonding. Logic's ideal pattern is people flowing together with the opportunity to bond with one another as equals, deconditioned and living authentically. Logic confirms that all natural and correct rhythms and patterns, regardless of how fixed or how extreme, expand the way that love is manifested in the world. An electromagnetic connection between gates 5 and 15 can be challenging as one person will be fixed in their pattern while the other needs to remain flexible within their rhythm's extremes. When they come together, however, they experience the channel of rhythm's potential to determine the flow that carries those around them forward, even an entire group. Channel 515 draws others in the environment into its own flow and determines the course that the group will take. Okay, so gate 5, waiting, the gate of fixed patterns, fundamental attunement to natural rhythms, waiting as an active state of awareness. Part of the sacral center, part of the mutation quarter, and its theme is purpose fulfilled through transformation. It's part of the RAC of consciousness, the JC of habits, and the LAC of separation. For gate 5, waiting isn't stopping. It's an active state, like being pregnant. Gate 5 is an energy that enjoys fixed rhythms and tempos. This is what gives you the tenacity to stay true to your own inner rhythms in order to stay vital, healthy, and always in your flow. You find great satisfaction in mundane rituals and routines that attune you to the vibrations of all life. Being forced to deviate from your natural rhythms can be physically, mentally, and emotionally destabilizing for you and can manifest as insecurity, unhealthy behaviors, or physical disorders. Don't question your natural routines or rhythm, or let others lure you away from them. For example, a friend with the extremes of gate 15 may not understand why you're so compulsive about your rituals and daily patterns. Their rhythm automatically disrupts your healthy routines and might even tempt you to abandon them. Conversely, you may find yourself wanting to influence their unpredictability with your fixed ways. Keep in mind that their flexibility and adaptability, though it feels unpredictable to you, is what keeps them healthy. Understanding and appreciating what each of you brings to the flow helps you embrace and transcend the inherent challenges, right? We're all being taught how to work together, guys, how to value each other's for their different gifts that they bring to the table naturally, right? You naturally were born with these gifts. Aw, the universe loves you. I love you. You're special. You're unique in your own way. And that's great. And I would love to see how we can work together. Line 6 is yielding. Line 5 is joy. Line 4, the hunter. Line 3, compulsiveness. Line 2, inner peace. And line 1, perseverance. Hold on, I had gate 15. Okay, this is gate 5. Do I have gate 5? Let's see. No, I don't have gate 5, but I do have gate 15. Okay. So I'll be drawn to people with gate 5 since I don't have it, right? So that I can learn that energy and learn to work with someone with that energy, learn to work with someone with gate 5, right? And then not just that, but since I don't have gate 5, I'll feel like a piece of me is missing, right? That's what we're going to get into, right? Well, it already said that, for example, a friend with the extremes of gate 15, which I have, might not understand why someone with gate 5 is so compulsive about their rituals and daily patterns. And then my rhythm can disrupt that gate 55 person's rhythms, or vice versa. They could try to disrupt my chaotic. It feels unpredictable to them, but I know what I'm doing, and it's what keeps me healthy. I stay on the move, right? Gate 15 is a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. My sun sign is Gemini, so we're dealing with an air sign, right? We're dealing with the start of summer. I was born June 19th. Summer, they say, begins June 21st. So you know how it is. It's like the hottest day of the year. It's getting to, and we know what it is when we're boiling a pot of water. When it gets hot, we see it's jumping around, moving around a lot. The water's jumping around. The atoms are jumping around, moving around, right? So I think of those things when I think about how I'm a Gemini. I think of gate 15, being a Gemini gate. I think of it being an air sign. I think of it being right there towards the hottest day of summer and the physics involved with heat, if you will, and also air, right? Because once you get that high heat, you get steam, right? So anyway, just me just ranting or going off on a tangent with my metaphysical knowledge. Holla if you hear me, right? Okay, so here we are, gate 15. Modesty, the gate of extremes. Let me know if you have gate 15, if you're my twin, right? I have gate 15. Do you? Let's see. Modesty, the gate of extremes, the quality of behavior which expresses the proper balance between extremes. Part of the G Center, part of the quarter of civilization. The theme is purpose fulfilled through form. It's part of the right angle cross of the vessel of love. the JC of extremes, and the left angle cross of prevention. Gate 15 is the love of humanity. It has the capacity to accept and to find a place in society for the full spectrum of human behavior. Its lack of a fixed pattern ensures that each of us is able to make a contribution to the diverse ways that love exists in the world. Love, in Gate 15, is not about how we connect with others, but rather how we project a transpersonal love for humanity's diversity out into the world. This begins with loving the extremes of your own rhythms. For example, sleeping 10 hours one night and 2 hours the next. You're capable of accepting other people's extremes without judgment, thereby bringing diversity into the flow of life. The magnetic monopole amplifies your aura's magnetism, which attracts people to you and your acknowledgement of diversity. When guided by your authority, Gate 15 increases your potential to influence how extreme rhythms or patterns are made modest and are balanced and integrated within the collective. By understanding and accepting the diverse and opposite tempos that are part of humanity, you'll fully embrace and promote for all of us what it means to be human. Without Gate 5's disciplined and fixed rhythm, you may find that your own constantly changing rhythms cause you to lose the focus that you need to achieve mastery in some area of your life. Hmm. And line 6 is self defense. Line 5, sensitivity. Line 4, the wallflower. Line 3, ego inflation. Line 2, influence. And line 1, duty. And I'm on line 1, so for me it would be duty. Okay, I can't wait to hear more on these lines. But I'm already learning so much right now, so I can wait. I can wait, actually. It's a lot of information being imparted. So, hmm. Channel of the Alpha, 731. A design of leadership for good or bad. It's the circuit of understanding. It's part of the circuit of understanding and a projected channel type. The channel of the alpha links the G center to the throat center through the gate of the role of the self, that's gate 7, and the gate of influence, gate 31. This is the design of logical collective leadership, looking towards the future. Logical leadership is based on tested and established patterns that can be followed with certainty. The 31st gate is the collective leader, and its voice carries the quality of influence. The 7th gate provides the logical role needed to lead and guide society. It is described as the power behind the throne. Its 6 lines name the leadership roles that we most often use when interacting with others, such as the authoritarian, the general, and the administrator. Okay. hmm Here's some background. As residents of a global community, we're familiar with the collective's style of democratic or shared leadership. Alphas are leaders who must first earn our trust. Hmm. Those who lead by logic must perfect their leadership skills and be able to demonstrate them to society's satisfaction. They have to be recognized as people who grasp present patterns, understand trends, and are in touch with the needs of the people. Most importantly, they must be invited or elected by the majority to lead. Their length of tenure is determined by the electorate's evaluation of their performance. Collective leadership is empowered by majority rule, which differs from the how do we say this? Autocracy of the tribe or the personal example of the individual. Okay, okay, got you. Personal. It is said of wolves that not all alphas lead packs, but no true alpha will stay in a pack led by another alpha. You may not become a community or national leader, but you will naturally seek your own arena of influence, your own pack. Once you found it, you can bring attention to qualities essential to keeping society on the right track, but you can only point the way for others. You cannot do it for them. Leading from a position of influence rather than one of absolute authority is key to your success and to maintaining your sense of well being, right? You can only point out the way. You can't make people do it. We know this. We know this. Interpersonal. Leadership in this channel is more appropriately described as influence because the channel of the alpha is not connected to a motor and it is focused on the future. The alpha might say doing this or that will work, but unless the majority is willing to step up and elect you to lead them to do it, it won't get done. Collective leadership says, I'll represent you and share leadership with you as long as you're doing what I tell you to do, because I'm right. In other words, those with leadership definition have a much better chance of success if they're leading the right people under the right circumstances. They're more successful when they wait to be recognized and invited by those who share the same collective context and are part of the same established pattern. Logic's answers are rarely universally correct or long lasting. At any moment, the pattern could be challenged or become weak or break down. It's all part of perfecting the process, which keeps humanity moving towards an ever more secure future. hmm I like the idea of that. Gate 7, the Army, the role of the self in interaction, the point of convergence. By design, the need for leadership to guide and order society. This is part of the G Center, part of the duality quarter. The theme is purpose fulfilled through bonding. Part of the RAC of the Sphinx, the JC of interaction, and the LAC of masks. The seventh gate is oriented towards the future, with an ability to see when society's present direction needs correcting to get there. This is logic's gate of direction, part of the right angle cross of the Sphinx. The substance of its contribution to the collective is expressed through designated leadership roles, which are listed below as the 6 lines of Gate 7: authoritarian, democrat, anarchist, abdicator, general, and administrator. These roles are genetic and mechanical and have tremendous conditioning power within the collective. Through your role and with your understanding of humanity's future direction, you persuade others to follow your leadership, thereby influencing people in positions of influence themselves. Influencing people in positions of influence themselves, especially those with Gate 31. Okay? You might be the one to evaluate or modify the existing pattern or questionable direction, or be the catalyst for creating a new direction. This position of influence is described as the power behind the throne. In other words, without Gate 31, you can be a public leader, but not necessarily the public figurehead who directly influences the collective. Okay, got you. Got you. Line 6, administrator. Line 5, the general. Line 4, the abdicator. Line 3, the anarchist. Line 2, the democrat. And line 1, authoritarian. I wonder where this information comes from. I mean, where could I see this information? Or even an explanation. I know it's going to come more later on in the book. This extra information about the lines and some conclusions is how we reach some of these answers. Gate 31, influence, the gate of influence. The law of friction, whether active or passive, that engenders transference and thus influence. It's part of the throat center, the civilization quarter. The theme is purpose fulfilled through form. It's part of the RAC of the unexpected, the JC of influence, and the LAC of the alpha. Gate 31 is designed to be influential. Gate 31 is designed to be influential. Collective leadership is collegial, not hierarchical. It provides the vision for a new direction and shows others how to achieve it rather than doing it for them. The 31st gate manifests its potential for verbal influence through election. When money is the energy used to move a person into a position of power instead of the cooperative will of the people, the collective's overall ability to ensure humanity's future is easily perverted. Your voice through the 31st gate, I lead, is not heard until backed by the energy of the majority. The people are the ones who must act on what your voice says. The influence of your vision for society will not be transferred or felt without the collective's energy moving it into the public realm. Your leadership must take into account the desires of your followers and address the good of the whole. I lead means influencing others for good or for ill by effectively transferring your vision for a new and test-worthy pattern to them to carry out. Without the presence of Gate 7, you may seem like just an empty voice. Line 6, application. Line 5, self-righteousness. Line 4, intent. Line 3, selectivity. Line 2, arrogance. And line 1, manifestation. The channel of judgment. This is Gate 58, Gate 18. It's a design of instability, part of the understanding circuit, a projected channel type. The channel of judgment links the root center to the splenic center through the gate of vitality, Gate 58, and the gate of correction, Gate 18. Logic needs to be able to prove it has the best answers, and underlying the logical process is an insatiable drive to challenge, correct, and perfect any pattern. Channel 5818 fuels the art of mastery. Okay, here's the background. Gate 58 fuels our love of and vitality for life and pressures us to want to perpetuate this energy. The insatiability of channel 5818 is a byproduct of feeling so wonderful. It is as though Gate 58 says more and better, as logic's impulse to keep us alive, while Gate 18, the gate of correction, tempers this impulse by alerting us to what isn't healthy or what is out of balance or in need of correcting. The channel of judgment is like a sentry who judges if what it perceives is stopping life from being joyous for the collective. Such judgment is based on testing patterns and comparing what is inherently correct and workable with what has worked or not worked in the past. This sense of what needs correcting keeps society on track because Channel 5818 wants everybody to find satisfaction in the perfected pattern. The channel of judgment's underlying purpose is the purpose of human design, to reclaim or recover the joy and love that have been lost in living a homogenized, conditioned life. Okay. A little tongue-tied over here. Personal. Even for the true perfectionist, perfection can never exist because patterns are subject to continual change. Your ability to judge and your desire to correct are expressed when you become dissatisfied with or feel the need to challenge something. When this perfecting or correcting process is made personal, however, and either turned inward or directed at others in relationship, the result is perceived as constant fault finding or a pervasive dissatisfaction with yourself and life in general. You'll find yourself challenging your mother, father, teachers, governments, anyone and everything. No challenge is too great for logic to take on or lies beyond your root field need to perfect the pattern. When a critical evaluation bursts forth unbidden or uninvited, however, it usually takes the form of an endless and incessant stream of data about what's wrong that no one else or that no one wants to hear. On the other hand, what brings you real joy is being asked to share, as in, is there something wrong here? Those who ask you are the people who are prepared for and open to your answer. Okay? Go with the flow. Don't fight against it. Right? Don't fight against the current. Interpersonal. To avoid wasting precious energy and to use your essential gifts wisely, you're advised to pick your battles with care by first waiting to be asked to share your solution and by devising solutions applicable to the collective. In this way, you challenge only what others are most open and ready to address and potentially correct, right? Man, that's still so serious because sometimes you're too early. You're in the future and people's minds aren't able to even see the vision if you're proposing something new. Really, you're kind of like you got this newness energy where you're bringing out new ways to do things, and so people will have to visualize it or be able to understand the importance of those things. So you have to really only kind of deal with the things that they're ready to deal with, you know. I'm grabbing my tea. Okay, two different ways of squeezing the toothpaste tube provide a humorous and poignant example of how logic can work effectively to reconcile differences. Logic says toothpaste should be squeezed from the bottom of the tube. The individual says they'll squeeze the tube anywhere they please. The reconciling, impersonal, and practical collective solution was to invent and share with society a gadget that dispenses the toothpaste with a press of a pump. Mutually agreeing to apply the solution restores peace, saving the relationship and probably many others in the process. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. That applies to so many situations. But yeah, something that can kind of bring together to the two divided sides on how best to do something. Yeah, there's a lot of that in the world right now. So many like extremes, and there's got to be solutions to where you can bring in a little wholeness. Let's kind of like bring in together both something that will satisfy both sides of these extremes. Yep, so if you have this gate 35, you know, we're looking to you. Excuse me. Sorry. Um, this channel, a design of insatiability. You're insatiable with it. Gate 58, the joyous, the gate of vitality. Stimulation is the key to joy. It's part of the root center, the mutation quarter. The theme is purpose fulfilled through transformation. It's part of the RAC of service, the JC of vitality, and the LAC of demands. Gate 58 has the ability to sense when something is weak or unhealthy. You bring to living a joyful and compassionate audacity to challenge a pattern or the authority behind it. The pleasure you derive from sharing your appreciation of beauty, your sense of wonder, and your zest for living naturally attracts and delights others. To satisfy a driving desire to contribute something of value, you focus your vitality and joy for life on correcting anything that keeps society from achieving and maintaining well being and health. Gate 58 provides the fuel that logic needs to test the viability of patterns, formulas, rhythms, and directions that are moving humanity into the future. It is logic's most precious and highly coveted energy resource. You often provide the energy that's needed to move people from talking about something to doing something about it. To channel your energy correctly, to conservatively and appropriately apply it where it's most needed, you look to people with Gate 18 who are attracted to you. Their essential awareness helps you focus your energy on determining which improvements should be made and how to manifest them. Without Gate 18, you can feel desperate to be of service in some way and push too hard to figure it out yourself. Right? Man, this is so cool. And I'm just like, if only more people knew about this, in some way we could like really, really work on this experiment together and kind of like, I don't know. I'm thinking of like a village or some sort of community where we're like living or working on these things. And like we said, you're being attracted to these people so that you can work together and do things. And you can't do it on your own. You need help. We're working together. We all are individual pieces of the whole. So to be able to practice um, this experiment with each other people are very who are also aware of this stuff, that would be amazing. I would love to see that, you know. I would love to see it in action with a lot of people. Excuse me. Line 6, carried away. Line 5, defense. Line 4, focusing. Line 3, electricity. Line 2, perversion. And line 1, love of life. Gate 18, work on what has been spoilt, the gate of correction. The vigilance and determination to uphold and defend basic and fundamental human rights. Okay, part of the spleen center. The duality quarter. The theme is purpose fulfilled through bonding. RAC of service, JC of correction, and LAC of upheaval. Gate 18 enjoys discovering, naming, and challenging what needs correcting. When you experience dissatisfaction with something, chances are it has lost its vitality. Underneath this dissatisfaction lies a deep concern for human rights and for what will keep society healthy and in harmony with itself. Your gift of critical awareness directs you to the source of a weakness or imperfection and focuses your thinking on ways to correct or modify or replace it. Okay? So you just naturally into like looking at stuff and you're scanning it. This is so cool. This is fun. It's your way of cleaning out what isn't healthy or restoring vitality to something that has been corrupted. Your gift is enhanced by impartial discernment and logic's drive to perfect or fine tune your own skills of critical analysis, right? That's part of it too. You got to fine tune your own skills of critical analysis. Yes. Ushering in a new understanding through identifying what needs correcting is the byproduct of the process. Gate 18 also represents the fear of authority and the challenge to that authority. As a collective gate, it's designed to point out what needs to be corrected at the collective level, but when used at the personal level, it tends to backfire. Without Gate 58's joyful feel for correction, your dissatisfaction can become merely a constant source of fault finding. This is especially true if your valuable and crucial awareness is no longer productively focused on situations, patterns, or institutions, but rather on people's idiosyncrasies and foibles. Line 6, Buddhahood. Line 5, therapy. Line 4, the incompetence. Line 3, the zealot. Line 2, terminal disease. And line 1, conservatism. Terminal disease. What's that mean, guys? The channel of the wavelength. This is channel 4816, a design of talent. This is part of the understanding or creative channel. Well, it's part of the understanding circuit in the creative channel, a projected type or channel type. The channel of the wavelengths links the splenic center to the throat center through the gate of death, gate 48, and the gate of skills, gate 16. Gate 48 is always on the lookout for vital information, and gate 16 is always considering new ways to experiment and perfect its skills. When connected to the channel of judgment, channel 5818, with its ability to channel and name what isn't working, this design of talent can use its depth and skills to find a potential solution to a problem or to encourage, correct, and refine something that needs perfecting. Background. The depth available in Gate 48 is an internal intelligence that can't be grasped by the mind and is only accessible to others when one is surrendered to the natural instincts of the body, right? We're dealing with the spleen center, and its warning signal only goes off one time. So you got to really be kind of honed in and surrendered to the natural instincts that it lets you know about. When one is deeply identified with or practices a skill that's available in Gate 16, there is a gradual transformation to precision and excellence that is communicated as talent, or the end result of perfecting the skill or pattern. A skill can be anything from playing an instrument to figuring out a scientific formula to making your way extraordinarily well in the world. Those with channel 4816 who achieve mastery in any area of the logic process often serve a wider purpose of or improve the lives of others. Okay, so those with channel 4816 who achieve mastery in any area of the logic process often serve a wider purpose or improve the lives of others. Personal. You're designed to combine intuitive depth with repetitive experimentation and practice as you strive to perfect an intrinsic skill. Wow. The key to successfully developing your talent is that you must be completely identified with something that you love doing, as it takes great dedication and constant repetition to achieve mastery. By bringing your depth to the technical mastery or perfecting of a skill, you transform or convert your skill to a talent. When your enthusiasm is combined with a long-term dedication to refining your talent, mystery of the pattern eventually transcends the pattern itself, freeing you to express your own unique wavelength. Wow. At the cellular level, it takes the body 7 years to transcend technique. It may take a lifetime to plumb your depth. Wow, let me know if you guys if you have this channel, the channel of wavelength 4816. I don't have it. All right. So interpersonal. Those with channel 4816 have an innate need to be recognized by others, to be asked to share their talent, and to be rewarded with resources in order to continue its process of practicing and perfecting. They may lack direct access to energy resources, like a motor energy, of their own. If a parent does not purchase the instruments or provide the music lessons their child needs, for instance, it's much harder for them to develop their budding talent and the dedication necessary to perfect their skill, or to pursue the exploration of patterns on behalf of humanity. Patterns that might prove effective and efficient enough for us to face our future with relative security. Money is a form of recognition, and talent flowers when it's energized by recognition and materially rewarded. Developing social skills often helps the artist successfully compete for the monetary resources necessary to continue perfecting their talent. Channel 4816 also represents the mastery or the master and apprentice relationship. The master shares the expertise achieved through constantly refining a skill by mentoring or teaching a younger but gifted student, and during this phase, the focus is usually on technique, for talent is often considered 1% gift, inspiration, and 99% work, perspiration. In this way, the pattern is passed on, and the ongoing refinement continues as each new master adds their own unique perspective and level of artistry to Logic's creative process. Yes! And boom! Nature does not need your help. Quit fighting yourself, go with the flow, and things will get done. This is great. Channel 48. Gate 48, or hexagram 48, right? In the I Ching as well. The well, the gate of death. The necessary and qualitative foundation that is a prerequisite to establish the common good. Center is part of the spleen. It's part of the duality quarter. The theme is purpose fulfilled through bonding. The RAC of tension, the JC of death, and the LAC of endeavor. Gate 48 provides a potent awareness rooted in deep instinctual memory that gives you the potential depth to bring logic's real and workable solutions to the problems of society. More than anything, you want to express and share your depth in order to help others recognize, correct, and perfect the world that we live in. Without Gate 16, however, you may experience feelings of inadequacy, fearing that you won't be able to explain your solution, or periods of frustration when you realize that you must wait for your depth to be recognized by others before you can share it. You may become overly concerned about developing skills that you feel you lack. Relaxing into an active or expectant waiting will usually draw people to you who will initiate your depth. In this way, your potential solutions can emerge naturally and clearly as a foundation for evaluating, perfecting, and mentoring the skills of others. Wow, I like how they said that. Relaxing into an active, expectant waiting will usually draw people to you who will initiate your death. That is great. It's like you're just like waiting. You know somebody's going to come, ring your doorbell sometime soon, but you're not tripping. You just know that, somebody's coming. And, you just act. It's like a form of patience, but it's also like an active, expectant waiting. Yes. I'm going to start saying that instead of, because I'll be like, I need to work on my patience, but really I need to work on my active waiting. My active, expectant waiting. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I need to set a reminder. Remind myself to, instead of using this word patience, I need to relax into an active, expectant waiting. All right, line 6, self-fulfillment. Line 5, action. Line 4, restructuring. Line 3, incommunicado. Line 2, degeneracy. And line 1, insignificance. Gate 16, enthusiasm. The gate of skills. The great art of enriching life by the harmonic channeling of energy. Nice. Part of the throat center, The Civilization Quarter. The theme is purpose fulfilled through form. It's part of the RAC, or right angle cross, of planning, the JC of experimentation, and the left angle cross of identification. With Gate 16, you eventually make your mark in the world as a keen critic, skilled performer, or through your talent and enthusiasm for living. You don't, however, begin life that way. Okay? You need to identify with a skill or skills, dedicate yourself to repetition of the pattern, and focus on practice until you reach a point of mastery that transcends the skill itself and becomes an art. The world waits for that moment when the dancer becomes the dance, or when living one's life becomes its own masterpiece. You're looking for the perfect way to express your expertise. Without Gate 48, however, you may become self-critical and feel that you don't have the adequate depth. You're also searching for a source of material support that will allow you to concentrate on perfecting your talent, your theory, your solution, so that you can then make it available to the world. You look to people with Gate 48 to bring their depth and dimension to your skill, as well as to properly direct, correct, and encourage your own disciplined practice. Okay? Line 6, gullibility. Line 5, the Grinch. Line 4, the leader. Line 3, independence. Line 2, the cynic. And line 1, delusion. All right, moving on. We have the channel of logic. Another one in the understanding circuit. It's Gate 63 and 4. A design of mental ease mixed with doubt, and it's a projected channel type. The channel of logic links the head center to the Ajna center through the gate of doubt, Gate 63, and the gate of formalization, Gate 4. This is the doubting mind. Doubt is absolutely essential to logic because logic can be impeccable in its formalization and still be wrong. Channel 63.4 constantly filters patterns to see if they're consistent or not. The moment a pattern is inconsistent, pressure intensifies and finally becomes a question which demands an answer. Wow. Background. The channel of logic sphere takes the form of doubt and pops up somewhere between the question and the answer. Such skepticism must be addressed by logical experimentation leading to proof. There's little room for unsubstantiated belief. An answer is just an answer until a consistent and reliable, practical, and provable pattern emerges from it. The collective fears the mutative impact of the individual because mutation is a transformative process that breaks down the patterns. For example, someone with definition in channel 63.4 cannot logically accept the truth of the human design system without experimenting with and proving it. It must work to be logical, and it must be logical to work. Well, it definitely sounds logical to me. I don't have this channel of logic. Um, People, not newbies, people who have known about human design and are deep into their experiment and have this channel of logic. What do you think about human design? Is this logical to you? Does this work? Let us know how the results of your experiment are going. Meet us in the comments. Let us know. If you will, please. Appreciate that. Yeah, personal, right? Because that was a little on the background. Here's the personal. You have an active, logical mind that hones in on life with a healthy skepticism. Is it going to rain next week? Well, based on typical patterns for this time of year, the current barometric pressure and cloud cover there is a strong possibility, but you're good at posing a question, looking for recognizable patterns, factoring in current data, and making an educated prediction about the future in order to serve the collective. Will this or that make us safe tomorrow? You're always tempted to immediately share both the question and the answer, whether others are interested and open to you or not. When your busy mind is unable to resolve a question and release mental pressure without meeting resistance, you can become anxious. It helps to remember that because the channel of logic is a collective channel, the pressure to understand the pattern is best used to benefit others. Since your mind is not designed to answer the doubts and questions that you have about your own life and future, keep it busy thinking about other things, like the things that can help the collective. This is good news. This is great. Yeah, I run across these type of people. I run across so many different type of people. So now I'm just like I'm curious if like they say, these people are like always, giving you figuring out patterns and giving you facts based off of the patterns that they see, and they're immediately naturally sharing these facts to serve the collective. You know, it's so cool. I'm gonna pay extra special attention and try to get the human design charts of these people. Try to get there some information so I can put my suspicions about them to rest. Because now that I'm learning this stuff, I'm constantly in my mind wondering about my family and close friends and even other people that I see at different events and talk to and communicate with. I always wonder if they have certain channels, certain definitions, definitions. Wow. It just runs through my mind, particularly because we're reading this book, so I'm in between episodes, I'm processing the information, I'm kind of like even researching um, the particular information that was brought up in that video, looking at my human design charts, thoroughly going over whether or not I have the things that apply to, what was being discussed in that current episode. So I'm really knee deep into it. I'm reading it, I'm studying it, I'm applying it to myself, I'm ruminating over it, meditating and just really just processing the information and working out how I can go forward with my day to day with this knowledge in mind, um, because we're not just about talking about it. We're trying to live this life. We're trying to live a. I don't know. I don't know. That's what I try to do is live it as well. If it makes life better. And so far, quality of life, though it is a lot of information, over time it starts to sink in and you do start to, put it into practice. And next thing you're just, this is how you live your life. You know, you keep these type of things in mind, in the back of your mind. Okay, interpersonal as an electromagnetic connection, channel 63.4 creates a rather pleasant mental link between two people. Those with gate 63 want to share their doubts, and those with gate 4 really enjoy sharing their solutions. The correct the connection works best, however, when both parties understand that it's the sharing itself that provides the satisfaction. Gate 63 can't expect the solutions from Gate 4 to necessarily be useful, nor can Gate 4 expect only worthwhile questions to answer from Gate 63. In the end, using strategy and authority to know when to share ensures a congenial and successful exchange. Hmm. Okay, and Gate 63, after completion, the gate of doubt. In the spiral of life, all ends are beginnings. Ain't that the truth? Yes. Head center is part of the head center, part of the quarter of initiation. The theme is purpose fulfilled through mind. RAC of consciousness, JC of doubts, and LAC of dominion. The suspicion or doubt of gate 63 is merely a pressure. It is the readiness to pay attention to and question what feels insecure until it can be understood and evaluated in terms of our future security. That was a mouthful, but that sounds legit. A readiness to pay attention to and question what feels insecure until it can be understood and evaluated in terms of our future security. So the suspicion or doubt is just pressure. Doubt arises when you sense an inconsistency or weakness in the existing patterns moving life forward. This is an essential ingredient in the understanding logic process, and logic is the common thread that flows through and connects all life forms on the planet. The doubt of Gate 63 can be directed out into the world or focused inward inappropriately on your life and choices. Your doubt becomes an urgency to formulate a question that addresses something that isn't clear to you. If you don't get an adequate, logical, and workable answer to your question, pressure in the form of suspicion continues to build. Your focus on the future, with an ability to see patterns that exist in the present, means that if something appears weak and does not stand up under the scrutiny of your logic, or if it does not ensure society's future, you'll reject it for another pattern. When you're part of a group engaged in long term planning, your aura will contribute this pressurized fuel for formulating an answer to the brainstorming process of projecting possibilities into the future. Wow. Without Gate 4, mental anxiety can arise as your need to have an answer to life's pressing questions. This is amazing. Hold on, I need to check my chart. Okay, we're talking about Gate 63 and Gate 4, something about the head. Did it say the head? Okay, because I have Gate 4, but I don't have Gate 63. All right, where's my Gate 63s at? Let me know if you got Gate 63. We're being pulled towards each other. We need to work together. I got questions. Hold on, wait a minute. What we just read was Gate 63. So without Gate 4, someone with Gate 63 might have mental anxiety, which will arise as their need to have an answer to life's pressing questions. hmm Line 6, nostalgia. Line 5, affirmation. Line 4, memory. Line 3, continuance. Line 2, structuring. And line 1, composure. Okay. Okay. So line 4, youthful folly. The gate of formalization. The energy to beguile and succeed despite ignorance. Freedom from retribution, right? Okay, because this is in the Ajna Center, right? The energy to beguile and succeed despite ignorance. um, Part of the quarter of duality. The theme is purpose fulfilled through bonding. The RAC of explanation, the JC of formalization, and the LAC of revolution. Gate 4 applies mental awareness to questions fueled by doubt about the future. It formulates logic's answers. Each answer, each formula, is only a potential which must eventually be tested and substantiated by facts. That means that your answers may be the ones that people seek, and they may not be. You use your mental intelligence and mental awareness to judge what looks suspicious. The pressure of a doubt or suspicion can last a lifetime, however, and you need to rely on your authority to guide you to the correct questions on which to concentrate your energies while you wait for the right timing to share your answers. Ultimately, the answers that you formulate are designed to be applied to questions that come from people around you. Rarely, if ever, can you formulate answers that provide solutions to your own questions about your life. Understanding and accepting this truth can bring the comfort of letting answers come and go in your mind until the time is right for one to be brought to the surface by being asked to share it for the benefit of others. If you don't have Gate 63, you may either spend a lot of time looking for the next inspirational question that you can answer, or become anxious that your life will always be in chaos. Line 6, excess. Line 5, seduction. Line 4, the liar. Line 3, irresponsibility. Line 2, acceptance. And line 1, pleasure. All right. Good stuff, guys. We're moving on to the channel of acceptance, 1762, a design of an organizational being. It's part of the understanding circuit, as all the ones we've been on lately, and it's part of the projected type. Okay? The collective, we're in the collective circuit, which is broken down into two. We're dealing with the understanding collective circuit. The channel of acceptance links the Ajna center to the throat center through the gate of opinions, gate 17, and the gate of details, gate 62. Logic influences humanity's thinking processes and shapes the way humanity reaches understanding. Acceptance here means mentally organizing information based on already substantiated detail, and it's an ongoing internal process. So here's some background on that, right? As the gate of the right eye, gate 17 visualizes the patterns, while gate 62 translates them and manifests the detail through words. Gate 62 is responsible for the creation of language, the means by which we name, organize, evaluate, communicate, and give meaning to what we see and experience. Whatever channel 1762 can successfully organize into its own internal picture, it can understand. What it can't integrate into its own perspective in this way, it will not understand. Gate 62 is also one of 3 gates in the design of mammals that connects to humans, in this case with gate 17. Such interspecies communications led to the domestication of animals, which in turn led to the organization of sustainable communities. This particular connection also enhances the training of animals by connecting them to mind to higher cognition. What? So this is also one of the gate 662 is also one of the 3 gates that's in the design of mammals that connects humans and mammals. In this case with gate 17. Okay, and so it's being said here that this interspecies connection led to the domestication of animals. I just always just think it's so cool how I could talk to dogs. We could talk to dogs and they understand us. I'm a proponent that I've had many dogs in my life and they all understood me and they listened. So, but it's also interesting, it's so cool that they can speak other languages. They understand other languages. Japanese, Chinese, all languages, they understand it. How is this? How is this possible, you guys? Wow. These dogs speak multiple languages, or they can understand multiple languages. I don't know. Well, I've never seen it if a dog can be like bilingual. But yeah, definitely if they grew up around those people that speak that language, they understand it. But like I said, language is more like vibration anyway. They really, it's like their understanding when I'm talking to the dogs comes through the tone, right? The tone of voice. But I mean, they still understand it's more than just the tone, right? Whether I'm cross with them or happy, excited, loving, gentle. It's more than the tone because they take instruction. They know what if you say, if you give them instruction, they understand that. So it's so interesting to me. He says because of these gates that led to the domestication of animals. Do you guys believe that? Do you think that's the case? Especially my people. Who is it? My people with the channel of logic. Does that make sense to you? You got some answers when it comes to that? Is that what led to the domestication? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so where we at? Personal. Your mind is constantly busy organizing details into your own mental filing system, always making adjustments to your big picture by fitting what others think or say into it. This is how you keep a constant vigil on your internal patterns. All new, da- all new data has to be logically organized and integrated to fit your perspective. When you say to someone, I just don't understand you, you're simply saying, I haven't been able to organize my perception of you or what you're saying or thinking in a way that fits into my picture of the world. With constant pressure on your throat center to speak, you'll find you derive satisfaction and a sense of release by sharing your opinions in great detail, or explaining what you do or don't understand about something. In both instances, it's particularly important to pay attention to your timing and the receptivity of your audience, and you have a highly sought after gift for logically organizing things such as business groups, events, projects, and other people's spaces. Yet you may not be particularly interested in keeping your own space neat and in order, right? Yeah, I have gate 62. I know I'm very organized. Very, very, very organized. I mean, and just a strong memory. It can remember what people said, and they're right. It's absolutely right that, you just like keep files, keep all these things in your mind, and you got to constantly keep updating it, mentally organizing it. Um, this ongoing internal process. I remember things people said. I remember music playing at certain times. You know, I just really just remember, and of course, since I'm a researcher, right? I'm a 1-3. Um, just very good at remembering where I saw. Just first of all, just remembering I heard a piece of information, and good at remembering, or at the least organizing, being organized and keeping a screenshot or a link or whatever, but just constantly remembering, even if I didn't keep the receipt, I can go back and find it because I can remember, these little details. I remember the name of the video or what the subject was being spoken of, or, whatever the case may be. Just very, very organized. So, yeah, I see here on my chart that I have gate 62, which is part of all this, right? Um, Interpersonal. People with the channel of acceptance have a built in foundation for teaching or presenting information to others. They have a gift for effectively translating detailed visual patterns into language as formulas, theories, or hypotheses so that they can be tested for viability. Waiting to be invited to speak ensures the successful timing, effectiveness, and clarity of their sharing and decreases the possibility of meeting resistance or merely boring others with unasked for trivia. Logic naturally stands its ground. Debate and arguments, fundamental forms of criticism and friction that are necessary for logic to scrutinize an existing pattern, remain a common source of stress inducing interactions between people, especially if taken personally. Right? Facts. You know? So, Gate 17, following the gate of opinion. The ancient law that those who wish to rule must know how to serve. Part of the Anjana Center. It's part of the quarter of initiation. The theme is purpose fulfilled through mind. It's part of the RAC of service, the JC of opinions, and the LAC of upheaval. Gate 17 looks for one concept or opinion among many that we can all trust, one that will survive both testing and criticism and calm our fears about the future. Gate 17 is designed to structure an answer into a concept, workable pattern, or a possible solution in preparation for Gate 62's substantiated details. Up to this point, in the logic process, your mind has taken a doubt about the future, formulated a potential solution, and now feels pressured to express it as an opinion. What it needs next is Gate 62's ability to translate the concept into language, to support it with facts and details, and present it to the public for their examination and analysis. You guys, is that what we're doing right now? Is that happening as we speak? I have Gate 62, true. I don't have 17. 17 done already came up with all this. Up to this point in the logic process, Gate 17 has taken a doubt about the future, formulated a potential solution, and now feels pressure to express it as an opinion. They said all that, wrote all that in the book. They came up with this human design thing. And right now, as we speak, me with Gate 62, I'm here making this video, presenting this information to the public for their examination and analysis. Wow. Welcome back. Shout out to the Openly Occultic Book Club. Yay. Okay. What Gate 17 needs is Gate 62's ability to translate the concept into language, to support it with facts and details, and present it to the public for their examination and analysis. Yeah. Your right eye takes in the world at a glance, seeing it as a collective of recognizable visual patterns. If a pattern or an opinion cannot stand up to logic scrutiny, it will be or should be rejected. Unfortunately, you can't always translate your visual image or what you understand about it into language. Without Gate 62, you'll find yourself looking for a name to represent your concepts or facts to support your opinions, and for an effective means to communicate your suggestions. Mental anxiety for you arises out of the fear that no one will understand and value your input. Oh, I do. Line 6, the Bodhisattva. How do we say that? The Bodhisattva. Line 5, the no human is an island. Line 4, the personal messenger or manager, the personal manager. Line 3, and really it's personnel. Line 3, understanding. Line 2, discrimination. And line 1, openness. So let's zoom in on Gate 62, preponderance of the small. The gate of details. See? Telling you, I be remembering details. Caution, patience, and detail produce excellence out of limitation. Okay. It's part of the throat center, part of the quarter of civilization. Its theme is purpose fulfilled through form. It's part of the RAC of Maya, the JC of detail, and the LAC of obscuration. Gate 62 says, I think. It's designed to name, concretize, and communicate a visual pattern. It selects and organizes details as facts in order to better understand and explain complex concepts or situations. When connected to Gate 17's ability to structure the concept, Gate 62's supportive details make these concepts tangible, meaningful, and understandable so that they can be repeated and tested over time. Understanding is logic's gift and yours. When you address complicated situations with clear, appropriate, and well-organized details, Your opinions increase our understanding of the world. When you wait to be asked to speak, you increase the collective's potential receptivity to what you're sharing, and you avoid the embarrassment of compulsively blurting out facts and details that are unwanted, unnecessary, and may potentially obscure people's understanding. Yeah, I be big on that type of stuff too. Like, I appreciate good teachers. I like watching, different YouTube teachers and whatnot. And I kind of like secretly evaluate them as a teacher. I don't speak about it publicly or anything like that, but internally, for me personally, teaching is an art, and I like good teachers, and those are the ones that also don't let anybody kind of like distract or change the flow of the conversation, because in doing these type of things, it will obscure people's understanding of what's being taught. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty big on that. Um, so I just kind of I think of teaching as an art. I think it is an art actually, and there's a lot of different ways to do it. I enjoy all types of teachings. I mean, like from a wide spectrum. I enjoy all kinds because for me it's not entertainment, but it is an art. You know what I'm saying? It's not nothing to be take funny. This person really taking their time to teach something or to explain something. So it's not taken to be taken as a joke. But there's all types of teachers who teaching all types of subjects, and I enjoy all of it because for me it's like an art. I can evaluate this teacher and say to myself, wow, how effectively did they get their message across? Were they funny? Were they, all kind of different things, all kind of different ways to evaluate it. But the main thing is, did they get the message across for the people to understand, or was their teaching convoluted, cloudy, all kind of weird shit? Okay, anyway, the quality of your opinion is always dependent on your grasp of the facts, but all facts are not equal. It's helpful to remember that you can have all the details in hand, but without Gate 17 may not necessarily be able to put them into their proper structural context for expression in the moment. Hmm. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's helpful to remember that you can have all the details in hand, but without Gate 17, you might not necessarily be able to put them into their proper structural context for expression in the moment. Hmm. Line 6, self discipline. Line 5, metamorphosis. Line 4, asceticism. Excuse me. Aestheticism. Line 3, discovery. Line 2, restraint. And line 1, routine. Okay. Well, we'll end this video here, and when we come back, we'll get to the other circuit within this collective circuitry, the sensing or abstract circuit, right? Hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's because the other circuit, what was it called? Do we remember? Definitely the understanding circuit. Understanding and creativity circuit. Right. And now this is the sensing and abstract circuit. Okay. Yeah, we'll pick that up next week. This has been a great time. Thank you guys for spending time with me. Shout out to those who made it this far. You made it to the end of the video. That's incredible. I really, really enjoy your support. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Meet me in the CGH chat room. We could talk about these things behind the scene. If you want a free copy of this PDF that we're reading, email me at info@cedargroveherbs.com. You can email me at info@cedargroveherbs.com for a copy of this PDF. And I'll shoot that right to you, okay? All right, you guys, have a great day. Wholeness and balance.